누가 봐도 공부를 잘하고 머리도 좋고 실력까지 있는 사람들은 겉으로 실력이 있어 보이지 않고 실력 있는 척을 하지 않습니다. 아니, 못합니다. 벼가 익어서 고개를 숙이는 경우도 있지만 대부분은 자기 자신의 능력과 성취를 의심하는 단계에 이르기 때문인데요. 자신과의 싸움에는 여러 종류가 있습니다. 실제로는 대단한 능력을 가졌으면서 별것 아닌 것처럼 생각하거나 자신이 이룬 성취물에 대해 가짜라고 느끼는 생각은 겸손이 아니라 우리가 싸워야 할 대상입니다. 조사 결과 성인의 70%는 이런 증상을 겪고 있으며 많은 일들을 성취하는 사람들의 25에서 30%가 이 증상을 겪고 있다고 합니다. 바로 임포스터 신드롬, 가면 증후군입니다.
Oh, everyone deals with that. Every time you make a status shift as you move upwards, of course you have imposter syndrome because when you first make a transition into a new role, you are an imposter. Let's say you move from being an undergraduate to a graduate student. Well, all the other graduate students and the professors know that you're just a beginning graduate student. They're not going to expect as much from you as they would from a more seasoned graduate student. So you have some leeway that's genuine, but you are, the low-rung occupier of that role. And of course, you're going to feel like you're an imposter if you have any sense because you just made the transition. That's okay. That's not a problem.
가면 증후군은 내가 가진 진짜 능력과 관계가 없습니다.
The thing that I realized was that after a while, if you continue to disprove your imposter syndrome in the real world, you have a challenge, you're adamant that you probably won't or might not or don't deserve to get past it, you have to admit to yourself that your imposter syndrome has nothing to do with your capacity and everything to do with your addiction about feeling like an imposter.
그렇다고 실력은 없으면서 있는 척, 모르는 것을 아는 척하면 안 됩니다.
Don't be a phony, that's the first thing. If you're dealing with competent people and you admit your ignorance, the competent people never judge you harshly for that, as long as you've been paying attention. In my classes, for example, people were often afraid to ask questions, and so sometimes I would point to people and ask them if they had a question, especially the quieter types, and they'd be afraid to ask the question because they're revealing their ignorance, and they would assume they're the only person in the room that's that ignorant, but they're not, because if they were paying attention and they had a question, the probability that half the class had that question was really high. It's different if you're not paying attention. And so you can be ignorant, you can be an ignorant newbie, and you can even ask the questions that are necessary to ask in that position and sort of reveal your inadequacy. And as long as you're dealing with competent people and you've been paying attention, they're just going to answer your questions. And then you only have to be ignorant once. That's the thing about asking a stupid question. You only have to ask it once. Then you're no longer stupid.
그렇다면 어떻게 해야 가면 증후군 없이 내 진짜 실력에 대한 제대로 된 보상을 받을 수 있을까요?
And they say, how do I get rid of imposter syndrome? And my answer is, you can't because you're an imposter. And so am I. And so if you want to fight the fear, fight the feeling of being an imposter, you're going to exhaust yourself. The fighting is what's making you stuck. If we stop fighting and say, oh yeah, I'm an imposter in service of other people, and I'm afraid in service of other people. That's like saying, I'm running the marathon and it's mile 20 and I'm tired. Well, yeah, because you signed up to run the marathon. If you weren't tired, you're not trying hard enough. But if you want to be a professional at any level, for money or not for money, for other people, you got to acknowledge the fact that you're afraid. And you have to embrace the fact that you're an imposter. Both those things are true, and both of those things are fine.